Okay, hello and welcome everybody. This is Kathryn, and I apologize in advance. My video is delaying, so it looks a little bit like those old kung fu movies that have been overdubbed few times, where there's the voice and then the action, and it's quite distracting to me, and I'm sure it'll be distracting to you. So we're going to just leap in, but first let me just kind of hello. Oh, it may have fixed itself. Okay, I think we're gonna be good. All right. Well, let me give a quick shout out. Hey, in the chat, type in where you're tuning in from, and let's see who all's on. Um, Sharon, Sandra, Remy, Lenora, Linda, Leslie. Some more folks are coming on, and then we were so fast in our last couple of meetings. I noticed there was some people that jumped on like 30 minutes into it, and we were like done. So I know that we're busy and we just go for it. But today I want to check in a little bit and just kind of see how everyone's doing and explain a little bit more about what we're doing and why. Thank you for everybody who just comes along and they go, let's just go for it. But I want to explain just a little bit about what what this circle is. We've talked about that this is a place where we're holding a space, one for each other, right? Where we're going to come together, join our energies, and hold this intention of support for each other and witnessing the fulfillment of each other's hopes and dreams, right? To hold the vision for their success. And this is where there's a space for you that you really get to have just time just for you in your day, that you're thinking about what it is that you want to create and have some guidance on how to meet whatever resistance or considerations or fears that could be stopping you. Excuse me. I saw this really great quote by someone I just love, Barbara Sher, and she said, the visible obstacles are easier to overcome, and I'm paraphrasing, are easier to overcome than the invisible ones. With the invisible, it can be nearly impossible because our mind can manufacture and remanufacture those, but also we're attached to the story about ourselves in the past, and we are fearful of bringing that past into our future. Okay. And so a lot of times when we're trying to create, attract, manifest something new, what will happen is, of course, obstacles will arise. But the first obstacle that you do have to overcome is your mindset. We hear this all the time, but we go, well, let's just be positive. We're going to be positive. It's going to happen. But there's a part of you that says, yeah, but you're not being realistic. You're not addressing this real fear or concern that your intuition, your inner guidance is trying to show you. Hey, this is something to deal with. And again, is it in the outer world, or is it from the inner world? Is it a story that you're telling yourself? Like we hear all the time about imposter syndrome. Like the minute you want to create something, the first thought that comes up is, well, who am I? How, is my program good enough? Is my experience enough? Or is anyone going to listen to me? Am I attractive enough in this digital age? We're going to hear all of that, right? Suddenly we're comparing ourselves to everyone else rather than looking to ourselves and that deeper, greater part of us that's speaking to us and whispering about what's truly possible and what the next steps are. And so when we do this little process called the 6 steps of the one command, we are able to meet whatever that limited part of us is from our greater, higher potential. Okay. And we're speaking life to that future version of ourself. That's why we would say, I am I am the owner of a successful business. Okay. I am someone who makes an impact in people's lives. You're in that future self, and you've got to speak to that, because there's a part of you, like we did this little piece that was the meeting, right? The fear when we doing the collapsing anchor, right? The future self and the past self, and we're going to do a little exercise on that. We are giving power and giving space to that greater part of us that is speaking through our heart and telling us what's truly possible. When we're having that limiting negative belief, that's a story from the past. Oh, it's breaking up. It is probably my computer. Thank you for letting me know. Let me see. I may temporarily fall off the computer. Oh, Linda says it's good. Okay. We want to speak to the power, and we want to be able to be present to that part of us that has the consideration. And how can we do that? Well, we do that by being the observer. Okay. We're in the observer. We're going to be present to that. And I was already doing this kind of work. I was noticing this in my sessions. Like if there's a part of you that feels too small, that feels overwhelmed, that feels like you're in survival mode, that feels like you're not good enough, that feels like you'll never make it, that feels like no matter what you do, it's going to fail anyway, right? Those are beliefs. But first was the emotion. Okay. What happened to us as kids was we had something happen to us. We had a feeling, an emotional reaction. There was pain, there was hurt, there was shock, there was betrayal. And then what did we do? We told ourselves about why it happened. And then we set everything up so that we could do one of two things. And this is why we repeat patterns. One, we're always trying to resolve it. We're always trying to work that scenario back out, hoping for another outcome. We're trying to heal that. We're trying to work it out from these different levels of our experience as we grow up. That's why, hindsight's 2020. As an adult, you could look back and go, oh, why did I think that? Why did I believe that? What part of me, like, why did I tell that to myself? And I'm 66 this year, and I am still looking back and going, yeah, I believe that. And I'm going to forgive myself for that decision. I'm going to love myself. But here's the thing, guys. Your memories are not sacrosanct. They're not etched in concrete. It's in your brain, but you're not actually remembering the original incident. When we remember something, we're remembering the last time we remembered. And so when we remember it, remembering the last time we remembered it, and it kind of builds up this space in our brain. It becomes this little muscle that gets developed, right? And it's easier to lapse back into that, but it becomes so much of a part of our story, we don't remember anymore why we felt that way, why it was necessary to hold that belief in order to be safe and loved. Okay? So, what if, as an adult, you created love and safety for yourself at whatever level you were at? And even though you may have hurt people and you were in your ego, and then there is work to do around that, more to go into this. But if you can acknowledge, hey, here's the truth of what I did, it caused pain, and I'm going to ask for forgiveness. And there's processes that I take people through to release the energy of that. But if you can accept that all of it may have been necessary for your growth and their growth, and maybe we'll never know why, right? Knowing why, Sarah Lovejoy wrote the One Command, said, hey, knowing why is the booby prize. Let's just get it changed, right? You can love and accept yourself and give yourself what you needed in that moment. It doesn't have to be a big process. you might have a memory and go, why did I do that? Well, I did that because I was scared, or I thought something was being taken away from me. And you would go, in your mind's eye, you would literally just be present to whatever that memory is, that version of you. Breathe in and just say, I love you and I accept you. I want you to think about, there's a memory, there's a regret that you have right now. Let's try it. There you go. Why did I do it that way? It shouldn't have happened that way. I was embarrassed. I'm angry. I had a client that in one of the Commanding Wealth classes, I see I'm dragging again, so I'm going to stop my video. That she carried a hurt for about 15 years from the last job that she had had, where there was a contest, and if anyone hit the goal in the contest, they got something like a $10,000 bonus. And this is 1980s money. Okay. Actually, maybe it was longer than 10 years. You know, this was like late 80s that this happened. 20 years she carried this around. And the other person that was in the contest hired people to go out and generate leads and appointments for her. And her job was just to have those one-on-one calls. Whereas the person who was angry, what did she do? She went out and she knocked doors and she made phone calls and she went to all the networking meetings. She did everything that she had been taught to do. And she felt like it was unfair that this woman leveraged her time, that the other woman leveraged her time and didn't do all the hard work. Well, all the extra hard work was not the rules of the contest. The rules of the contest was whoever got the most results wins, right? And so we were going through this and she couldn't let go of it. She couldn't let go of it. And finally I said, hey, if your boss called you up today and said, you know, I've been thinking about you and you were always such a really hard worker. And I can't give you the $10,000 today, but here's the prize. Would that help? And she said, no. And I said, well, what if that woman called and said, well, I didn't realize that you didn't know what I knew, and maybe I should have taught you, and I'm really sorry. Would that make a difference? She said, no. And I said, what if $10,000 showed up today? Would you see it as what was rightfully yours from the past? And she said, no. She would think it was from all of her efforts today. And I said, well, we'll talk about that last piece later. So there's really nothing that can be said, nothing anyone could do that could really change what happened. And she said, no. But I said, do you think you could change your feelings about it? And she realized, yeah, that she had done everything that she thought to do and what she thought fair was. But she was going based on what she was taught about fairness and hard work. How many people are still under that? Hey, if we work really hard and we try to be fair and we want to be honorable, right? But sometimes we get these made up rules in our mind of what fairness is, about like she did. I said, I wonder what it would be like if you ever really grasp that there's no such thing as loss in the universe, and you could reclaim that $10,000. What if your resentment of that loss has been why you're struggling with money now? And she said it never occurred to her. I said, what if it were possible to bless that learning and allow the universe to send you the $10,000 that you believe is yours? And she said, well, yeah, that'd be nice, which is never the right response, guys. That is actually speaking your disbelief. And she said, okay, that would be nice. I said, what if it were interesting and possible? And she said, wow, I don't know how. Right. I said, that's the command. I don't know how it's possible. I don't know how to believe that. And that's part of what we're doing in our sessions here is we are allowing that greater part of us that already knows the greater truth about us to be present and to set that part of us from the past, that unprocessed emotion out. So here's what I want you to do. We've already thought about maybe there was a situation, a time, something you thought wasn't fair. There's a resentment, maybe against yourself or in a relationship. Just let your mind go back to that. Tune into the emotions, tune into those feelings. And I want to invite you to kind of remember what you've always said to yourself about that. Like it wasn't fair, they shouldn't have done it. I mean, you know what you say about it. I'm always screwed in the end. Think about what you say. And now I just want you to be present to that part of you and ask yourself, what do you need now? Even though this is something from the past, ask, what do you need now? Whatever thought comes up, breathe into that. So here's the next step. And I'm actually showing you one, if you did nothing else but this, you're going to get a shift because a new awareness is going to come in. And so you could actually say, I want that for you. I want that for you too. And so between knowing and not knowing, let there only be love, that version of you in the past. And right now, whatever they needed, in your mind's eye, just watch that energy coming in. That feeling, was it acknowledgement? Was it someone standing up for you? Was it, hey, you don't have to do this? Whatever that is. And right now, just notice what's shifting as you think about it. What's shifting in the memory? It could be fading. Could be harder to hold it. You could get a positive, warm feeling, like, gosh, finally somebody got it. Just notice what you notice. There is a shift. It may just be like a little ripple of energy. It could just be all raced away. We don't know. But now, whatever that phrase was that you heard in your inner self, that it came to your mind, we're going to do a command. Now I'm going to pause. Is this making sense? Give me a little nod. If there's a question for clarification, this is your perfect chance. And I'm keeping my video off because it's not keeping track. Okay. Is everybody with me? Yes? Okay. So your command is based on what you were told. So I don't know how I am heard or treated fairly, whatever that is, that's your command. All right. Does anybody need help formatting their statement? And if so, you can raise your hand. Hopefully I can see it. So I haven't quite figured this out. All right. All right. So we're going to do the command on that. Hey, is this helpful? Oh, Remy, did you have a question?
I did, just with the command thing, because what came up for me is we talked yesterday is about the acting.
Mm-hmm.
what came up for me is there was a couple times I was in a couple different groups, like an improv group and a theater company, that I got pushed out as the lead. And so many times it was because they're like, you did the best job, but I always wanted to work with this person, or she doesn't have enough opportunity because she's not that good. So we're just going to put you here. So is that more of not being enough, or is that more of,
Yeah, you're definitely always pushed off, right?
right? But
It's
I
like
was
there's
always
always
told
this
I was
good.
better. But I was told I was better than all of them, but
Mhm.
yet I still didn't get the part because so what is that? Is it enough? Is it, why can't I be number one? Or
You know
I
what? What that part of you needed to hear was, you know what, Remy, there's a lot of pressure for you to give up because you're so good. You're just so great and wonderful. You're perfect for the part. You're the best at it. But so and so really doesn't have the practice yet. She hasn't spent all the years of training like you have, and she hadn't had to be the understudy, right? But she should be lead, right? And like that doesn't even make sense because everything it took for you to be good was there. So I there was a part of you that secretly believed you didn't deserve it. And that's what the group was responding to. That's where the excuse would come up from. So we're going to thank everybody that was involved in that little psychodrama with you, right? That was reaffirming your secret belief that you weren't good enough or worthy. So the command is, I don't know how. I absolutely know that I am worthy and I am seen as worthy. I only know I am in the lead now. And there's a lot of ways you need to be in the lead in your life. Does that make sense? Yeah. So thanks to everybody. Yeah, we always try to blow that off. Okay. There we go. Beautiful. I want to check in if there's anybody else. Oh, okay. Sandy. Oh, let's see. Go ahead and
I got it. Sorry. Somebody had, the phone was ringing and I muted it. Anyway, I got this thing where I had loaned somebody some money and I suspected at the time that I was doing it, that it was going to be a mistake. So, and it was. So how do I get out of, what were you thinking? Why did you do that? You knew better.
So, one, and being present to yourself, you told me not to loan the money. And I didn't listen to you. And for that, I'm sorry. And I commit right now to listen to you.
Sorry.
That's really what's up. That betrayal, you betrayed
Uh,
you, not the person you gave the money to. Right.
uh-huh.
The weird sense of obligation, and I don't want them mad at me or to think that I don't love them. Right.
Mhm.
All that other head trash. So, number one, I don't know how I 100% trust my intuition. I only know I do now, and I am fulfilled.
Okay.
Number one. And I
Mhm.
would say trust and honor my intuition.
Okay.
On that money that was loaned and not returned, I don't know how that money is, and say the dollar amount, whatever it is, I don't know how that amount is returned to me threefold.
Oh,
That's the interest from the universe.
okay.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Reclaim that money, reclaim it. You're like, I know the best life lessons are the most expensive. I'm still talking, but the video's lagging.
Okay.
So, but you can reclaim that money.
Okay.
Everybody's got a little cosmic bank account that, because of their beliefs and programming, that the universe wanted to give you money and you forgot, you said, oh no, not now, not me, not yet. Right. And you can claim it back because there's no such thing as loss in the universe. Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. One more time before we go up, and we're going to do the 6 steps. All right. And if you haven't got your manual yet, let me put that in this is a Google Drive document. I'm going to put it in the chat right now. Where it's got the how to format it one command. Okay. And on my YouTube channel, I did have a class where I walked everybody through the one command a couple of years ago. And it was kind of like the abbreviated version of the one day, one command. So you can find it on my YouTube channel. And I've got those both in the chat. Okay. All right. So we're going to go through the 6 steps of the one command together. Do you remember what your command is? This is for the past, right? Okay. All I'm going to have you do is just simply roll your eyes up. Send your consciousness up a little bit above you. That's all you have to do. You're looking up as your eyes closed as you're trying to look up to the top of your head. And whatever your command was, I don't know how and state your command. I only know it's so now, and I am fulfilled. Now, here's the piece. Eyes closed as we're expanding. I want you to witness whatever that energy, that support, that acknowledgement, whatever it was you heard that you needed. I'm even going to say Remy needed somebody to stand up with her and go, you guys back off. Remy earned this and she deserves it. Witness the scene. Witness you getting exactly what you needed. Like with Sandy, she needed to have the courage to say no and know that it's not going to cause a problem, that she can still be in integrity and be a good friend. Witness whatever that energy, that learning, witness that coming in. And as that comes in, you're witnessing that old version of yourself come back into your own body in gratitude. And you're going to still hold that old version of yourself getting what they needed. And just witness the energy unwinding, unwinding, unwinding for greater clarity, rewinding, rewinding, rewinding. Perfect. And now there's going to be a new awareness. And I'm going to invite you, if you can write it down, if you go, oh, I'm going to remember this phrase or this word. Hey, I can trust myself. Oh, wow, that's what happened. There we go. And then if there was any loss because of that situation, you can command for restoration. And just looking at that person, that old version of yourself, you would say, it is now commanded that all that was lost because of this situation is now returned to you threefold. You can say it out loud or mentally. It is now commanded that whatever was lost to you because of this situation is now returned to you threefold. It is done, it is done, it is done. So now we always think, oh, when I think about that situation, what do you know now that you didn't know before? Who's noticing a shift? And if you could raise your hand. Okay. Well, hello, Anne DeRule. I gotta unmute. Yeah, go ahead and unmute there.
Hi, Kathryn.
Beautiful and the rule. Oh my God, I'm so
Oh,
happy to
geez,
see
Liz.
you.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Oh my gosh.
And at my age, I can still peel off more layers of this old junk. My
Oh
heaven.
yeah, I'm surprised every day. I was going through liver stuff and I was like, I didn't realize how much bitterness and resentment I was carrying. So what shifted for you?
The specific kind of feeling or whatnot
Mm-hmm.
goes back to when I was something, I don't know, 4 or 5 years old, a coloring contest or a picture drawing, something or other. And I did a great piece, but did not win because I did not know you couldn't copy something. They wanted it to be out of your head.
Oh,
So I
okay.
didn't win. So it was like not being good enough. You know, I didn't know the rules of the game,
Yeah.
but I've never gone back to this incident, I don't think. So it was a great clearing. And part of my resolution in that was that they created a new category. I won the best of copying something. That was a nice shift.
That's right.
And
Well,
I can see, you know, even in grade school, if I get a B in something, my dad's saying, well, why didn't you get an A? You
right.
know, it's just carried on in perfectionism in all kinds of ways.
And what are you doing today? You're an artist, right?
Right. And into perfectionism.
Okay. All right. So how, now that this got met, when you think about, I mean, are you selling your pieces or what are you doing?
Some, yes, and that's what I'm up to now is embarking on a real marketing program to get it out to the world because
Okay.
it is life-changing. Mhm.
All right. Yeah, because you do very spiritual work, guys. Anne was one of the first classes I got to attend in Dallas, and it was a manifesting class. And I was trying to bring a boyfriend along on this spiritual journey, and he was completely lost. And I'm like dancing along the heavens with her. And she does this beautiful work. You've done work with spaces, and then now you're bringing in your art, right? So
Right, right.
beautiful healing work.
Yeah, it's all transformational.
Yeah. So one for you is like you're going to do art your way. Whether
Yes,
and even if it was, hey, you based off this original thing, like, hey, I've I've been to the park where everybody's painting, right? The scenes of this, they're all painting the same tree, but all the trees are different,
right,
right?
right.
How do
Yeah.
you think clearing this is going to help you in this next phase of creation?
Right now, I'm not sure about that, but what's coming to mind as I was doing this is about part of the art marketing program that I'm
Okay.
into.
Okay.
And kind of beating myself up for being maybe not as timely with some of it as I'd like to be, or feeling like I can't handle it, all kinds of doubts, you know, like it's too much.
Yeah. So
So,
your commands around that, by the way, is I don't know how I'm always in time and on time.
yeah,
I only know I'm doing this at exactly the right time.
yes,
Right.
yes,
You have your own rhythm and your own intuition. Right.
right. And I
So,
can create that new path
mhm,
one
you,
more time.
but remember, money loves speed. So if you're very intuitive, I just want to encourage you. And the thing is, when you're getting that intuitive hit, take action as quickly as possible, even if it's a small thing. Okay.
Oh, okay,
If you go, I'm going to do a Facebook post, but wait, I don't have a giant funnel bit. Do the post, do the
right,
email, make the phone call.
yeah,
Okay.
okay.
All right, honey. Thank
Well,
you.
thank you, Kathryn. How wonderful. I really appreciate you and thank you for what you're up to.
Thank you, honey. All right. So now that helps. So this is some of the stuff that gets thrown up um on our way to what we want to create. Like, did you hear her say, oh, it's the time, I'm not lazy, not good enough, all of that. That's everything we're telling ourselves. And that's a loud imaginary voice. And when you're using the one command, you're able to eat it, eat it, meet it, and then just dissolve it and let it create into something brand new. Okay. That is serving you. Okay. So you have the right to recreate your past. And it's a fantasy. If you're going to fantasize about something, make it a good one. Make it, create a beauty. Most of manifesting is based on pure delusion. Okay. You are delulu enough to where you would believe it actually could happen, and you just act like it's happening, and then by golly, it happens. Right. That's what we're going to do. So if you're going to be fantasizing something that serves you, not creates pain. Okay. Let's go ahead and go into this next thing that you want to create. We've learned how to meet the past self. Did you know you can meet your future self exactly the same way? Now, for time, we are not going to go through the entire process, but after we go through the 6 steps, we're going to change it up a bit. Normally we're unwinding, rewinding. What I want to do is your present self met the past self, right? What if you can meet your future self, the version of you that figured it out, made it happen, and wants to send messages to you to give you the signs and what steps to take? Would that be helpful? Wouldn't you love it? I mean, rather than we love angels and guides, but the invisible part of you is the timeless, eternal part of you. Okay. And so we want to speak to that future self. So we're going to, as we're doing the unwinding, being present, I'm going to give space for your future self to speak with you. Okay. Does that make sense? Are we on board? Okay. I'm going to get a little sip of water. I'm drinking from my gigantic money green Coleman cup. Rattle, rattle. I'm going to take a little sip of water. All right. Before we get started, I just want to remind y'all that during the month of June, hang on, let me pin this. There we go. During the month of June, to celebrate the start of the circle, I'm offering these laser coaching sessions and using the one command, but also there may be some energy, but it's a 20-minute laser session for only $40. And I've got the link in the chat if you want to take advantage of this. I'm always surprised at how much we can get done in a session. And of course, it's recorded, so you can listen to it over and over again. But this is where I can really tune in, get some information, and help create the perfect command for you and address whatever needs to be addressed around the specific situation. Okay, so I have the link in the chat for you. All right, let's go for it. You've got your command, you know what it is that you want to create, you know your intention. All right. So I want to invite you to close your eyes and ground. And just picture, visualize, or imagine that you're like a tree. And you have long roots coming from the base of your spine, going down into the earth, grounding you into the beautiful earth energy, and releasing any dense energy, any stress, any resentment. We're going to go ahead and just release everything that's no longer serving you, right down into the earth to be transformed. And I'm going to invite you to become aware of your feet and imagine that there's these little windows at the bottom of your feet that can open up and start to absorb and receive earth energy. That's going to come up into your body. Up through your feet, into your ankles, and your knees, and your hips. Up your spine, your shoulders, down your elbows, all the way to your fingertips. Bringing your attention to your heart as you're aligning to your purpose. Your purpose is, hey, what do you want to create? You want to create income, a new opportunity, better relationships, divine health, a new solution. And you're just going to hold that in your heart. And what to remember about your heart is it has two sides. In the chakra, it's pink and it's teal. And so it sends and receives. And right now, I just want to invite you to just kind of massage with your free hand in a circular way over your heart. And we're just going to open that heart chakra. We have our creation center, which is lower, but sending and receiving is through the heart chakra. You might not even realize that you had your receiving center closed off, or that you were unintentionally sending out a message that was not loving, supportive, and welcoming. And as you allow your heart to open and light up, I want to just invite you to become aware of everyone who's on this call and maybe watching it in the future, who is aligning to you and your good and your success as you align to their good and their success. And look at this greater light, this greater energy. Nobody does it alone. There we go. And I'll invite you to become aware also of that spiritual life force energy that's coming right down through the top of your head. It's going down 2 channels either side of your spine. It's going all the way down into the earth. And that spiritual life force energy is mixing and mingling with the creative life force energy in your physical body, and it's all being balanced with your heart chakra. Beautiful, beautiful. Hey, remember that wounded past version of yourself? Let's invite that part of you into the circle. And what about the future version of yourself that's happy and fulfilled and living this greater life of greater fulfillment? Invite that part of you to the circle. And we already know your own greater intelligence is here, because there is nothing, real or imagined, in the past, present, or future that can ever stop you from being in connection to your greater self. And in this space between knowing and not knowing, let there only be love. Eyes closed, roll your eyes up. Picture, visualize, or imagine that you're traveling up a pole of light. The higher you go, the faster you go. And soon you find yourself in the velvety black void of space. Off in the distance, you see a little pinprick of light. Head towards that as you break through the darkness into the light of pure, open potential. Now you're going to state your command of what it is that you want to create. I don't know how and state your command. I only know it is so now, and I'm absolutely doing it now. And I am filled. And now just let that go. Let your eyes relax as that expands into an idea even greater than itself. It serves more good in its fulfillment. And as you are coming back down into your body, you're starting to receive in gratitude. And the old energies, the old programs are starting to unwind. gonna let those old ways, those old beliefs, we're gonna let that go. I'm gonna invite you to become aware that there is this future version of yourself that's right there, that's giving you energy, that's holding the space for you, that's loving you, encouraging you. And as you're allowing these new ideas begin to rewind and integrate, I want to invite you to allow that greater self have a conversation. And it's asking you, what do you need right now in order to move forward? And right now, just witness that energy opening up between you and witnessing that future version of yourself, maybe showing you a sign, maybe giving you a word, or may just be holding the energetic space of loving you and accepting you and reminding you that you are more than your circumstances. You're more than your thoughts. And you are certainly more than your past. There we go. And I want to just invite you that anytime you need to talk with your future self, you've got this idea, like when you go, oh, I'm not good enough, I'm not doing enough, what will people think? Ask your future self, hey, what's true about this? And it will tell you, hey, you haven't done the work yet. Got a few more things to do, or stop procrastinating and get on the stick, or it's time to wait. It will tell you. So now, as you think about your command and what it is you want to create, you can open up your eyes. Think about, what do you know now that you didn't know before? Are you excited about being able to talk to your future self? Well, you want to be sure and write things down. Like if you have a revelation, or you want to remember, oh, there was this thought, this idea, this aha moment, you want to write that down. And this will encourage you. You'll get to see, hey, how far you've come, but maybe you'll see where you're circulating. So that's in the guide. I do have some pages on how you can make this part of your daily practice. And then, of course, what do we say? The 7th step is what? Inspired action, guys. Inspired action. And so your intuition, your guidance, your curiosity, mine is, hey, I wonder, what about? I suddenly am interested in something. And it's my curiosity, and I just notice as soon as I have curiosity, something pops up around that. Okay. Notice how your intuition is communicating with you. All right. But take action. And like I told Anne, you're going to get the idea, oh, I need to call these people and do it as fast as possible. Okay. All right. And I just want to remind everybody, I've got it in the chat for the set. If you wanted to book a single session, you can do that. I just thank you so much. I would love to get feedback. We did a lot more teaching today. It was a lot more experiential. We learned how to meet ourselves in the past. We learned how to reclaim. And then now that created a way for us to have a new powerful conversation with our future self. This is how your intuition is going to develop. Yes, Sandy?
I just want to let everybody know that's on the call that I did that 20-minute session with you. And trust me, take advantage of it.
Thank you.
Because it's amazing what she'll come up with in that 20 minutes.
We get to laser in on it, don't we?
Yes.
Thank you for that. I appreciate that. All right, everybody. I know that you're busy. Thank you so much for taking time. I always send the replay. If you're new here, I send the replay out in the emails. Everybody who registers, I put on a separate email list that's not shared with anything else. And you're the only one who gets the emailed replay. And I do post it in the Facebook group and on my YouTube channel. Okay. And I guess until next time, this is Kathryn Perry, the Big Vision Coach. I witness your mastery. Mwah. Bye, everybody.